Hi everybody, I'm Charla Acker, psychic medium, and today I'm so excited because we are going to have Elaine Thorpe join us, trance medium. Elaine is from the UK, and I know many of you know who she is. So we're just going to take a few minutes and wait till she comes on, then I will invite her in. If you have any questions, now I know our time US, it's in the middle of the workday, so I have gathered questions prior to our interview with Elaine, so you guys won't miss out, and we'll make sure that we record it. We'll post it up so you can watch the recording of it too. It just worked out. It's 8 o'clock UK time, but it is 3 o'clock our time, so we're in the middle of the workday. So Elaine, when you are there, just kind of let me know, and then I will invite you in. I love technology too, so just kind of bear with us. So while we're kind of waiting for Elaine to come in, I'll just go over a few things. I was just on Wednesday, but we still have our Tarot 101 class opened up. So we still have a few spots left there. So that's going to be amazing. That's on July 14th. So there's still time to register for that. What else do we have going on? Oh, we have First Friday on June 7th. That's going to be at Artworks in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So I hope to see you there. I'll be there giving free readings from 5 to 8. So I'm really looking forward to that. Registration will be about 4:45 there. Remember, it is free. It's first come, first serve. Just go ahead and register. You know, when you come down, you'll register, and then once the spots are filled up, they are filled up. I'm sorry, I was just looking to get Elaine in here. So we'll get there. So anyway, I'm really excited about today. We're interviewing Elaine Thorpe. She is from the UK. She is a trance medium, and she is going to talk to us today about trance mediumship, what it is, the process. We're going to have the opportunity to talk to Jonathan, who is her spirit guide, who works with Elaine, and be able to ask Jonathan some questions as well. So I'm really excited about that. And for those of you who want to learn more about Elaine, her Facebook page, if you type in Elaine Thorpe, trance medium, spiritual artist, you will get her. You'll get her page, and give me a second here. Elaine, when you're out there, just give us a thumbs up so I can invite you in. I'm moving around here. Sorry, guys. You know how these Facebook Lives always take a second or two. That's better. So she does some amazing work, and I know a lot of you are already familiar with Elaine. She also does some amazing artwork. Her spiritual artwork is just absolutely fabulous. I do have a piece, so I love my artwork. And I just got a piece, her partner, Frank, I just got one of these beautiful, I don't know if you guys can see it, the lighting, Angels Walk Among Us. I love this. This is a beautiful piece, and he's done some different ones, like colored the dress black. So he has some great work too. So we'll get her to talk a little bit about that, in case you guys are interested in those. Okay, Elaine, where are ya? So if you have any questions and you're out there, you can type them in, and I'll try to, as we're going, I'll try to scroll it. Let me just remind her it's But yeah, so he has some interesting artwork, and I love my little Angels Walk Among Us plaque that I got. I keep it in my waiting room for everybody. So, and Elaine's artwork I have hanging on the wall opposite of me, so I can't show you. But she does some amazing pieces, and you can kind of commission pieces from her, and it really is quite reasonable. And I love mine. It's so unique. Each piece is unique. I'm on live now. Give me a thumbs up, Elaine, or something so I can see you. Let me know that you're there, because for some reason I'm not seeing you yet. She's just telling me I'm kind of working with two devices. So she's telling me she's live, but I'm not seeing her. So just give us a hello. Let's see. Guest requests. Megan, I see you out there. So I just need to see Elaine out there so I can invite her in. Bear with us. Elaine, I still don't see you. Hi from Norway. Wow, that is cool. Elaine, I'm waiting still. Let me see if I can bring you in. I didn't miss her hello, so this always takes us a few minutes. Just give us some hearts, Elaine, or give us a thumbs up or something there. I'm seeing you. I'm not seeing you on my guest request. Let me see if I can. So anyway, God, hello from Norway. Wow. We have people from all over. Now if we could only get Elaine in there. Let me see. Give me a minute, folks. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, first viewer. What exactly is this? Well, Jamie, hopefully we're going to be talking to Elaine Thorpe, who is a trance medium from the UK. We're just waiting to get her on. And I'm still not seeing her in there. Bear with us. We'll get her. I see Casey and Sharon and Jamie. Naomi, Megan, ooh, Leslie, Bev, I see you. Elaine, where are you? There she is. Okay, so I'm going to add her in. Add. Here she comes. Hi, Elaine.
Hi. Sorry, my camera's a bit low down. Trying to just get it to stay up.
That's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward, this one.
See you. It's been a long time.
There's a Theo.
Yeah,
I was looking. Oh, silly! I was looking at your old video.
No, you look good. So to introduce you, many of you know, I mean, we have people from all over the world, which is really exciting. But Elaine Thorpe, she is from the UK. She is a trance medium. And probably in my experience of being in this business, she is the best I've ever seen. So Elaine, thank you. I want to start by thanking you for the work that you do, and thank you for bringing awareness, because you truly are amazing, and you're helping so many people in the process. So thank you.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. So Elaine, it's funny because I got here in the US, it's the middle of our workday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know it's later there. So I compiled a lot of questions from viewers prior to you coming on. And one of the common questions that I was asked is what you do as far as trance mediumship in the UK. Is that pretty like well known? I mean, like, what do you do? One of the questions was when you meet a stranger on the street and they say, "What do you do for a living?" Do you say, "I channel Jonathan"? It's like when somebody asks me, I don't say, "Well, I talk to dead people." Uh, how do you handle
Well,
that, or what do you
yeah.
say? Or
Well, the first thing I'll do is I'll say I'm an artist, so and then I sort of bring the mediumship bit into it and see how they react to it.
yeah, I know, because it's kind of strange. What do you do for work when a stranger asks? But yeah, but it's fairly common and well known in the UK, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's physical mediumship in the UK. There's a few physical mediums here that I know of. I haven't actually sat with, and there are trance mediums, but not all of them go out into the public eye. I know one that brings can't think of his name now. He brings White Feather through, so I'm not sure what his name is, but I've heard him, and he's very good.
So for people here, because it's not very well known here, tell us what trance mediumship is.
Trance mediumship is where a spirit steps into your energy and he wants to speak through you or she wants to speak through you. This soul wants to speak through you. So it is when you go into those states of mind into trance, you're going into a sort of a form of self-hypnosis whereby then the guide can step into your energy, which widens when you go into that state of mind. It does widen even when you're doing clairvoyance. You have an energy that surrounds you, and they will step into that with trance and manipulate the energy and their energy. They will blend the two together so that the perfect blending takes place. And then they can manipulate your vocal cords and your mindset with your permission, of course, and then start doing the trance. Sometimes they'll speak quickly, sometimes they may take years to learn to speak, and you're sitting in trance every week waiting for them to come through. But it depends on, they've got to blend with our energy and they've got to learn to speak through that. So it's quite hard for them as well as it is for us.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
just
really
as
a
hard.
partnership, but you are now, just so I can get this, because people that haven't experienced trance, and Elaine will bring Jonathan in a little later, but so y'all can see how this works. But it can be a little frightening for people, can it not? Because our demeanor kind of changes, our voice changes. So people, one of the comments I got um is it like possession? You're in total control, are you not? I mean, you're aware of what's going on. It's not taking over your body, correct?
No, no, I'm perfectly aware of what's going on. I'm in control. So if you weren't comfortable with that spirit manipulating your energy, they're not getting inside your body. They're just standing in your energy that widens, and they're stepping in and manipulating that energy with your permission. So if you weren't comfortable with it, then you could just say, well, I'm not comfortable with this. Please step back. And if they're of the light, they're going to respect your wishes. That's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there really isn't anything scary about it's just something that you tell us about your training. Now you trained a long time before you really did this, did you not?
Yes. I used to sit in I started off sitting in a development circle with about five or six of us. So we'd sit every week. And I can't remember what night it was on, but it doesn't really matter. But we used to sit every week religiously and sit together and meditate. And the lady that used to take care of us, she'd been previously sitting with my dad on and off over a few years. So she kind of knew my dad and she got to know me. And all of the other sitters, we would just all go into trance and she'd keep an eye on us all. And then it was like an experiment, really. We'd see who would come through. So at first, when I first sat, I got George come through. So I had no idea who this George was. He just came in and made my body feel all stiff and my face feel all, on one side. So I assumed he had a stroke. And I said to him, all of them, I said, if you're going to come through me, I don't want your illnesses, because you no longer suffer with them. So I don't want you to bring all your ailments with you. I just want you to come through as you are, as spirit. And after that, they seemed to respect my wishes. And I can't remember who came through after that. I can't even remember what happened after that. So I started sitting, and then Jonathan came through in my friend's house next door. After about a few months of doing it, he finally introduced himself, and I just felt complete wash of love over me. There was no fear, no nothing. It was just, where have you been? Why did you take so long? And I feel like I've known you forever. And the love was inexplicable. It just washed over every part of you, and it was pure unconditional love. And I'd never ever felt that. I'd felt love of parents, the love of your children, and everything like that, which is unconditional, of course. But this was totally and utterly different. It just made the whole of you feel like you were alive and happy, and it only lasted for a few seconds. And after he spoke, which was very briefly, he then left, and I came back. And then after that, he started coming through each time. And so we used to record the sessions right from 2005. And when I listened back to them, his voice sounds nothing like it did now. It was quite more like my voice, but a bit robotic. Yeah, it took a long time. And then I came away from that circle, and then I went back there for a little while. Then I came away and started my own circle. I started that, and I sat in that for 6 years, every week. Well, sometimes we couldn't do it if my friend was away on holiday or anything, but every week for 6 years we used to sit in circle, and we thought it was going to be a physical circle, but we didn't want to. So after that, it started where people would ask me to do perhaps a sitting in their church, or they would ask me to do certain things, that little things I'd get to do in public. And then one day I came across a website, and I thought, well, I don't know how I bumped into it, but I came across it, and I thought, I don't know, I'll inquire about this. And the lady said to me, well, come and have an interview, her name was Alison, and she was lovely. And I went into trance for her, and then she took me onto her agency, which was Honest Mediums, on the agency, and went on to that. And she started getting me a little bit more public work. I did a development class for several people, which was nerve-wracking, because I'd never shown anyone trance or taught them anything like that. And I thought, well, what do I do? I'm just going into this with just the knowledge that I've gained through me doing trance. I'd never sat with anyone else for them doing the trance. So it was quite an experience, but it went well. And I got there in the end, and I thought, well, then I started doing more public work with her, and then I started up a group of my own. So that's how it's kind of gone until I came on live.
Good. And do you think, Elaine, I feel like you get out of it what you put into it. I mean, I feel like there's a process of training, and I feel like setting in circle and training is so very, very important. What's your opinion, or how do you feel about, do you think some people go out and try to do public trance and they're not ready yet, or they haven't put the time into it and the devotion and the study that really is needed?
Yeah, it's something that requires dedication, and it requires time for you to develop. And to go out there too quick and not have any confidence in yourself, well, it's not necessarily going to go wrong. It's just that you won't be trusting enough in it,
Right.
And you need to be developed enough in order to.
I think you can do a big disservice to people too, because you have to be comfortable, you have to trust, and I think that's one important thing. You have a huge responsibility when you're giving people messages, and you want to feel comfortable in your own skin, um, and coming to that, Elaine, what do what's your primary goal? What's important to you? What do you want people to take away from a reading with you and Jonathan? Um, Intention, I guess. What's the intention? Or what's the one thing that you want people to take away when they're listening to you, or they hear you, or they're getting a reading from you?
Well, much like yourself, I know that perhaps when you do your readings and somebody gets a message and they might cry or but they leave feeling lighter, happier, and that's my aim is to allow my guide to heal them, to talk to them, to bring their loved ones through. And if they go away happy, having got evidence, that makes me happy and more trusting of him and myself. And it makes them happy because they've got what they wanted.
Yeah. And if someone, Elaine, is interested in trying to develop their own trance, do you have recommendations on the process or how to do that?
The process is I would recommend somebody to sit with you that knows what they're doing, that
Mhm.
can watch over you, see any changes, make sure that you're comfortable being in that position, teach you to open and close yourself down at the beginning and end. Of course, because you don't want to be leaving yourself laid open. They're all knocking and say, "Well, we want to come in." Yeah, they do that sometimes. After the reading's done, knock knock. We still got some information to give here. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've probably done it to you as well.
Yeah, you have to be in control. You have to say, I'm done. You have to,
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and then sometimes you think, well, it's nice. I want to pass the message on to them, but I can't keep going all day. So
right.
it's something that you need to control. It's about controlling the trance and being in control of what the guide does, because you don't want to just pop in at any moment and say, well, I'd like to speak now, and you're
Exactly.
busy going about your day, and you don't want them coming to you at night trying to speak because you
Yeah.
want to go to sleep.
And do you think that that's hard to, do you feel that people sometimes expect you to be on call 24/7? Like they think you're this superhuman. They don't understand that you have like a real life as well as your trance and the other work that you do. Do you find sometimes individuals have a hard time separating that?
Yeah, they don't understand that, you get busy with your home life, don't you? You're shopping, you're cooking and whatever, and dealing with household chores and other things that you do in life. So sometimes you can feel, you've probably felt yourself as well, a bit bombarded, but I love doing what I do. Yeah. And that sometimes spirits say, look, you need a little rest. Just give yourself a couple of days off. You don't have to say yes to everyone. Just give yourself a couple of days to rest and do what you'd like to do.
Yeah, and it takes time to learn to say no. I'm still
It
learning
does.
that. And Elaine, how do and I know that we've all experienced this because we start out, I think, at a disadvantage with this work anyway, because, how do you respond, or how do you handle the criticism of what we do, of trance and the people who don't understand it? I think that people who don't understand spirituality in this work sometimes are afraid of it, so they criticize it. How do you handle the criticism from people?
Well, when I first did get the criticism, I really took it to heart. I really got upset. I let it get into my mind. I really let it overtake me, and I thought, what am I doing here? Jonathan, have you let me down? Or what am I doing here? Why am I upset over this? I'm not doing this anymore if you're going to start all this.
Right.
I want nothing but the best. And I've had humiliation and people being right nasty.
Oh yeah.
And some of them, you've looked into their eyes and you've seen the jealousy and the hatred and in their eyes. And you've thought, well, why are they doing this? And then I thought, well, is it a test for me? is it a test of my faith? But really, all it's done is actually make me even stronger. It's made me more determined to do
Yeah,
what I do and do it right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. You just, yeah. And Elaine, you don't only do trance, but Elaine's a busy lady. Oh, first off, a lot of people are asking if you do private readings.
Yes, I do private readings. I do them online. I do a few that are face to face if they can come to my house. Obviously, if you're on the other side of the world, you can't. So I do them on here, online, on Messenger, on Skype, or telephone.
Okay. And how can someone get in touch with you? I did give, and I hope I got this right, but I know that you have a personal page and then you have a business page, which if you type in Elaine Thorpe, trance medium, spiritual artist, that's your business page. Am I correct?
That's the one, yeah. My son at the moment is trying to delete some of the older pages. He's sort
Okay.
of managing a bit for me because I had so many pages. And he
Yeah.
said, Mum, people are getting confused, they don't know where to go. So he's sorting that out for me. And I'm going to keep the trance medium spiritual artist one, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can they just contact you or message you through that page should someone want a reading with
Yeah,
you?
or yeah, they can do that, or they can come through Facebook Messenger and talk to me that way.
Okay.
Any way, or yeah.
Perfect. And how far people are asking about how far out are you for readings?
Well, with me, it's kind of different. See, so you might get a person that's booked out for 2 years, and I think, well, I'm not that. With me, it gradually gets booked through the month. So I've got available dates in June,
Okay,
and
awesome.
sometimes demonstrations come up. Yeah, so there are available dates. It just gets booked throughout the month, and sometimes I spread that over to June because May's got full up, and
Yeah.
so I spread that over to June, and that starts getting filled up
And I always
towards
say
the
there's
end of
only
May.
so
June filled up.
yeah, and there's only so much energy. I always compare it like a balloon. I say I blow up, and with every reading, a little bit comes out, and then I'm deflated, so I have to rest a little bit. But people can get in touch with Elaine for a reading, and I will tell you firsthand, I've had a reading with Elaine and Jonathan, and it was truly, truly amazing. So I do encourage you to contact Elaine to get that reading. So Elaine, talk to me a little bit. I want to bring Jonathan through here. I don't want to keep you forever because I know it's later there and I'm sure you're tired too. But I do want to cover just everything because you're such an amazing woman. Tell us a little bit about your spiritual art. What inspires you with that? And can people, commission work for you? Do you just see vision? Do you get it intuitively? How do you bring your wonderful, I call them masterpieces, um, forward? Are you there? Oh, she froze up. We'll get her
Oh,
back.
froze.
There you are.
You got me back. Yeah. I do the things like a decoupage. It comes in spats, and then I put my music on, and away I go. I feel inspired to do something. But the last few paintings, souls have wanted to be put into the paintings, so that the last 4 or 5 paintings, the souls have come into them, and I just start to paint and design the painting, and I have to go where they want me to go with it. And then once the base of it is finished, the souls start appearing in the picture. So I shade them all in, and they all come in, and then more want to come in, and I'm thinking, well, how many souls are in here? Another appears, and another appears, and they all start appearing, and they're
Yeah.
all so joyous because they're all going, reaching their arms up into the light. And some are walking into the
Oh,
light, and
wonderful.
some are putting their arms up as if to say, well, I'm so happy I've reached the light. And they're all heading towards it.
Yeah.
Some show,
That's
a couple of
wonderful.
times the last one I did showed their face, a whole face in it. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I've seen it. If you want to see some of Elaine's work, go to her Facebook page. She has some beautiful stuff on there as well. So, are we able to talk to Jonathan for a little bit, Elaine?
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Yeah, and may I say, Charla, that that charity event you did, you were fabulous on there. You were just reeling off the messages. I thought, wow, look what she's picking up. She was just going bang, bang, bang. All these messages were coming from her, and I thought that is just incredible. And she must be nervous in amongst all those people, but you were just like a natural in there. You were incredible.
Yeah, yeah, I was really proud to be able to do that. That was the Totem Pole Playhouse, and that's a lot of energy. I don't really like gallery work, what I call it, because it's just a whole different kind of energy. But yeah, Spirit was totally on fire that night, and
No
it was an
way, you were on
amazing.
fire. That was a wow, honestly. It's incredible
Yeah,
work
well,
you
thank
did there
you.
that night. You'll
Well,
have to
thank
do
you so
more of
much.
it.
They're trying, but I don't know. I'm a bit like you. I don't like to be out in the public eye like that. I mean, I don't know. I just say I'm the radio, and I just don't, I don't know. It's a whole different kind of work than setting with a client. Um,
It is, yeah, it is. It's quite nerve-wracking sitting in front of all those people. They're waiting for something from you, and you're thinking, "Oh my goodness, they're all looking at me." Oh.
Yeah, and you're thinking, well, what if no? But I remember telling my husband, I said, well, what if nobody shows up? I said, what do I do? He said, tap dance, twirl a baton. He said, I don't know. You'll think of something. But I will say that and I'm sure you can identify with this, Elaine. In all the years that I've been, doing this, spirit has never, um, steered me wrong. I have to put my trust and my faith in them. And it took a good friend of mine, Shane Partlow, to push me to do that show. And it was amazing. And, I thank him for pushing me out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I just have to trust. If you don't trust, and you'll never be any good. You've got to trust in what you get. And if spirit, has that for me to do, or I'm sure the same thing with you. If you're supposed to do, setting in front of people in gallery or in church or however, spirit, it just comes, it happens. I really don't have control over it.
I know, but honestly, you did so well.
Well,
So
that's a
I,
compliment.
I just, I just feel like it's going to happen again for you, and don't be afraid of it.
No, I'm not, but again, it sometimes gets out of the comfort zone, but it's all good. So the whole idea is to spread that healing message and bring the love and the clarity and closure to people. That's what makes this, I say, and I'm sure you'll agree with this. This is such hard, difficult work. Because,
It is.
that we start out at a disadvantage, we've been called crazy, frauds, freaks, so you start out at a really disadvantage to begin with, but if you see those clients in front of you and you see the tears and you see the healing, that just makes it all worthwhile. So
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, we have all sorts of things, ridicule and stuff, and we have the biggest test of all, don't we?
we do, but we're tough and we're strong. So onward.
Yeah.
But when you're ready, Elaine, we'll talk to Jonathan for a little bit and then we'll let you enjoy your evening.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Jonathan. How are you?
I am nothing other than fine, thank you, my dear. And how might you be?
I am wonderful. So feel good. Just got back from holiday and spent some time with the ocean and dolphins, and I feel great. So,
That's lovely, my dear. You deserve it, yes.
so Jonathan, I gathered some questions, and one of the questions that seems to come up a lot, one of the greatest human mysteries concerns the experience of death. And what, if anything, happens afterwards? Can you kind of take us through the process of coming home?
Yes, I see that a few of the souls have similarities of experiences, some the same and some slightly varied, you see. I have known souls enter into gardens through the light and they find themselves in old familiar thoughts, you see. And I have known them have their loved ones wait for them, and they come to them and run to them and see them as they were, but joyous and happy again. You enter into the most beautiful light, and your soul feels clean and loved unconditionally. And you feel so wonderful. You feel light. There is no longer any physical heaviness or gravity within you because you have cast off that physical being and you have become a soul, a light being on the other side once again. It is returning to home, isn't it? It's going to a place where you feel as if you have always been once you get there. But the light is so warm and inviting, and you gently float into it. And as the light at the end of that comes to you, it begins to get brighter and brighter, although not blinding brighter, but beautiful light, warmth, love that you feel.
Yeah. And Jonathan, people are asking too, um, reincarnation or coming back. Let's say perhaps a parent passes, and before we pass, and maybe 20 years go by, if the soul reincarnates prior to us passing, does that mean that we don't get to meet our loved ones in spirit?
You will know that they have gone to the other side. I would say that you are made up of facets. The soul is made up of facets, you see. And part of that facet remains in spirit and part of it comes back to the earth. So there is a little bit of you that remains home, you see, and the rest of you will come here to the physical life. And a lot of people would say, well, how can that be? But you are made up of many facets, and the soul has such capabilities. It has no limitations. So you
Right.
will have that connection on earth to spirit, and part of you, your higher self, will be able to connect to that piece of you at home again.
Yeah, so my understanding is there'll always be energy or always be vibration in the spirit world, as well as if we choose to come back in the physical world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the soul will come back and it will incarnate and have another life, and they will say, well, I will see you again soon. It is sort of it's not a sadness for us having our loved ones go back to the earth again, because we understand that they are making the journey of raising their soul, ascending their soul by learning in human form about unconditional love. So we will miss them, but it only seems like a blink of an eye to us. It may be many years to you here upon the earth, but to us, we know that they will rejoin us again at any time.
Yeah. And Jonathan, why do you think it's so interesting to me? There seems to be a real surge of awareness coming together, mediums and psychics and coming together and really spreading the word. Why do you think spirit is uh, now just trying to really kind of explode that information out there? Is there a shift coming? Is it just spirit wanting us to know that there truly is an afterlife? What do you feel about that?
Well, there is a little bit of both in that explanation, isn't there, that you have just given. There is us wanting to show you that there is an afterlife and that you should need to have no fear of death. It is only the fear of how you're going to pass is what you are afraid of, really. But I would say that there is a great awakening, my dear, and that is already beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many of you are having that awakening, and you're all starting to come together as a mass awakening.
Yeah.
And as I have been explaining previously in my other talks with people of the earth, I would say that 2020 is quite a rounded off year in order to begin the mass awakening, which is going to be coming to your earth.
Yeah.
And it is already beginning. It is building up to that mass awakening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And many more people are coming together and starting to let people know of their experiences. They're getting advice about that. They're starting to awaken. They're starting to use the gifts that they have been given. And it is becoming more widely accepted in your world, much more prevalent as to what it was many years ago. You are living in a modern society, and things are far more widely accepted now.
Yeah. And Jonathan, this is a question I think that it's interesting. Do you think that, and I'm going to give you an example. I just took a class on psychic detective on forensic work, working with the police, say, in missing persons or murder cases, and one of the things that was interesting to me is, do you feel, because a lot of times setting with a client or setting with the police and you're trying to uh, basically you're kind of remote viewing and kind of seeing the situations. But many times we are not given the information of who the perpetrator was. Do you feel that there are some things in life that we're not supposed to understand or that are not supposed to be solved? Um, because that's just the way it's supposed to be, because it's very hard, it's very frustrating, not only for the individual trying to bring the information through, but for the family, and for the detectives. But sometimes I've come to feel that sometimes things in life, we're not supposed to know everything.
Yes, I guess you could say that that could be the case, my dear. But sometimes that there may be something to learn from a person's passing, you see. It is not that we want to see people deliberately killed off, my dear, and nothing happens about that. But I have seen it where, or Elaine has rather seen it, where a soul came back to the earth and actually brought the murderer to justice in the next life. That he
Right.
was still alive in the life. You see, he was still alive as that criminal that had killed that person in that life. The soul went to spirit and came back, had the memory of the past life, and brought the perpetrator to justice. You see,
Yeah.
so it can happen that way, can't it?
Yeah, so kind of are we kind of talking about karmically then? So kind of
Yes,
a
yes. So if they're not brought to justice in this lifetime, then they will need to learn through other lifetimes from what they have done in past lifetimes. They will come back and try to overcome what they had done, you see,
yeah,
to be brought to justice in another lifetime, which is quite of a rare occasion, of course,
right.
or to live through the mistakes that they had made in the past life in the next life, you see, in a
Yeah.
different way, in a different form.
And I find that, it's funny because I found in doing the work that I do, I had a client who lost a child to violent crime, and the perpetrator was never caught. And the mom was so distraught, and she had a setting with me, and her child came through and said, "Mom, the only thing I want you to do is take the good out of this." And the woman looked at me like, "Are you crazy? What's good out of this?" But I will say this: I got a letter from her about 8 months later, and she actually started a support group in her area, and she helped victims of violent crime, particularly those who have lost children. Now she is nationally. She goes around all over the United States and helps people set up these support groups. So, do you feel, Jonathan, like for me, I feel like even in the darkest times or some of the things that we don't understand, there is good that comes out of it because we,
Yes, now out of every negative comes a positive, don't there, my
yeah,
dear? I would say that through somebody's passing, something is always learned from that. Look at what she is doing now for her
yeah,
son. In his name, she is helping many others to be supported in their times of need. It is
yeah.
spreading throughout the world, isn't it? So look what she has got from that. And her son is always going to be there for her.
Yeah, and it was funny because she told me it was the most uh, healing experience of my life. And she says, with every person, kind of like the work that we do, she says that with every person that I see some hope and a little bit of glimmer in their eye, she said, it brings me so much healing and so much joy. So, I think that we need to try to find that positive even in our darkest times. Would you agree?
Oh, yes, I would very much agree with that. Yes, my dear. It is a good idea. And I think that many other people have done things of a similarity in their lifetimes. After losing a loved one unnecessarily, they will go out and create support groups for others to get the help
Yeah.
that they need.
Yeah. And Jonathan, I'm getting asked, I'm kind of jumping back and forth here, but I'm getting asked about vibration and energy. Um, how does someone who maybe is having a lot of negative thoughts or having trouble vibrating at a higher level, what can they do to enhance their vibration? And why is it even important? We hear so much about energy and uh, being in high vibration. So, can you explain a little bit about what energy is and how, if we're feeling depressed or we're feeling negative, maybe what are some of the avenues that we can do to raise or lift that vibration? And more importantly, why is it important? Who cares?
Well, I would say it is important for your well-being, isn't it? Nobody wants to feel unhappy and negative in a vibration that is not making you feel good. So in order to raise the vibrations, you would bring in happiness and joy. And I do find that young children bring in that sort of energy, don't they? If you're going to be unhappy, you are trying to get yourself to somewhere to be happy. So it is raising the vibration is listening to happy music or doing something that makes you happy or mixing amongst the children if they make you happy. That sort of thing is raising yourself to positive thought, isn't it? And every
Yeah.
time you find yourself thinking that negative thought, then immediately stop yourself and say, well, why am I needing to think like this? Why am I needing to worry unnecessarily and make myself unhappy? I need to turn that train of thought around and think in a different manner and think about the positive things that I want out of life, you see. So if you get into the habit of doing that, you will find that your mindset will change and your life will change along with it.
So, are we talking about maybe law of attraction? What we vibrate is what we bring to us?
That is correct, my dear, because you are all part of the universe and it is part of you.
Yeah.
So the universe is vibrating as well as you are, you know. Everything is an energy. It doesn't matter what it is, how small or how great or large it is an energy that surrounds it and within it.
Yeah.
And so it is what you put out there, thoughts are becoming a collective energy. They always have been. They are a collective energy. You have heard of telepathy? For instance, I will say that one is thinking about one, and then the other one calls. You see, they will say, "Well, I haven't heard from you in a long time," and you will say, "Well, yes, I was just thinking about you the other day. I was thinking about you, and all of a sudden you called." You see, so that is how far thought travels. Thought transference, which is an energy which can travel over many thousands of millions of miles. You could be over the other side of the world and you're thinking about somebody, and all of a sudden they will contact you in some way, you see? So the consciousness the consciousness in us, which is what we become when we are spirit, the consciousness that lives within you, which is your soul, it has the ability to bilocate its thought anywhere that it wants to be in the world, you see. It has the ability to create a thought, and then that thought will travel through the universe. And so that is why it is heard by the universe.
So
So thoughts are reality.
So we want to be mindful of our thoughts because we don't want to attract the negative into us, correct?
Yes, it is making it into a habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Visualizing the things that you want out of life or the people that you want to be surrounded by. Have you ever bumped into people that seem to mirror yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, they come into your life and you think, well, they got the same things going on that got going on. They seem to be the image of me in some way or another. That tells you that you are all as one consciousness.
Yeah, and people are saying for me, some people dance, that lifts my vibration. I know for me, it's animals. Animals are such unconditional love. And looking into an animal's eyes, it raises my vibration 200%. So that's kind of the way I raise my vibration as well. So I think it's different for everybody, but and I Jonathan, don't you think, us in human form, we have a tendency to think more negative than positive, but I think being aware of it and then being able to change it up quite quickly is the important thing, because we're human beings. We're going to have negative thought or negative vibration, but knowing how to recognize it and switch it up as quickly as we can. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree, my dear. Yes, the sooner you start to do it, the better, you see.
Yeah.
And when you have a mass awakening, you have mass consciousness coming together all in one thought in one place at the same time, you see.
Yeah.
So this is what we call the mass consciousness. And every body in the world, every animal, every person, every insect, they all have a consciousness. However
Yeah.
tiny or great they are, they have a sort of consciousness. And so the humans are seemingly at the top of the chain of this consciousness. So they think in different ways to what an insect would think, wouldn't they? Or what an animal would think as. But the animal has no hatred within it unless it is bred within it. It has no hatred, so it has total forgiveness, total unconditional love within that animal, and it will raise your vibration the minute that you look at it or come into contact with animals. They will immediately make you smile and make you feel better. So
They
if you
do.
were to give a person, if you were to put a person amongst animals that had a severity of depression, watch the smile come on their face when they see the animals. Watch the difference in their behavior immediately. They have an effect of making that person have a happy smile on their face, you see.
Yeah, they do. It's amazing. Jonathan, I have a question. I'm kind of taking some questions from our audience here. Um, and one question that was asked was why sometimes when we have a reading, say with you or Elaine or someone like myself, why do certain loved ones not come through? Is it because they don't love us or they don't want to talk to us? Why do others choose to?
Well, it is depending on the energy that we have to work with. We are relying on the human being to trust in us and to bring the message forward. So I usually find that the ones that were most forward in life and they have good practice at coming through, they have a greater energy and connection to that person. They are able to come into the front and get through first. So you will only ever get what you need. We will only ever bring you what you need. It's not what you demand or want. We will bring you what we feel you need. So the ones that are needing to come through will come through.
Yeah. And I always say it doesn't mean they don't love you or they're mad at you or they don't want to talk to you. I think we leave all that behind when we cross over. But I feel sometimes, we need to hear from a certain person. We may not want to, as you said, but we need to. And I for myself, I know I just let spirit allow, or like you said, that energy, they're the ones that are the strongest that really step forward for me.
That is right. And the others will perhaps make an effort to come through at some other time.
Yeah. And don't you feel that spirit not only, I mean, people really don't need people like Elaine and yourself and myself. We can all kind of connect to the other side. We just have to pay attention. Would you agree? Because I think that spirit shows us signs every day.
Oh, yes, we do, my dear. There are the synchronicities that we show you. There is nothing of a chance encounter in life, is there? It is all synchronized.
Yes. And and I'm not going to pronounce this right, and I apologize, but I have someone asking, what is the Akashic Records?
Ah, the Akashic records,
Yeah.
yes. They are named by that in a human existence, so to speak, but they are every thought and every lifetime that ever existed in your lifetimes, you see. And I could just look at that and see what you had planned in this particular lifetime. I could look into it with your permission and see what you had in past lifetime experiences, what you had brought into this life with you. So they are all collective thoughts. There's an energy on the other side, you see. Every thought that ever was and ever is in each lifetime.
Right. So we can actually, if I'm understanding correctly, there are people that can actually get in tune with them to kind of help you in this life.
Yes, that is right, because you bring sometimes fear from previous lifetimes, and you deliberately bring it back with you so that you can overcome it, so that your soul can ascend higher into the realms of spirit, you see.
Yeah. So Jonathan, I just, you're getting such amazing compliments, you and Elaine out here. Everybody's saying they feel
I
so much
thank you.
love and they feel so calm when you're around and when you're speaking. And you really seem, both of you just seem to raise the vibration immensely, getting that word out there. We have people from all over the world on here today. So I just want it's amazing. And I just want to thank
Yes.
you from the bottom of my heart as well, because the work that both of you do is just truly wonderful. Um, but I want to ask you, is there anything that you would like people to know about you, or the information that you have to bring forward that we haven't discussed? What is your message, or is there, what would be the one thing that you want people to take away from today?
I would want them to take away the fear of going into the afterlife. It is not to say that they're all going to go there tomorrow, but I would say live your life in happiness. Do whatever it is that you have the passion to do in this life. Don't hold yourself back and say, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or I have to stick in the same place of employment because I'm frightened to step out of my comfort zone into another, something that I want to do. I'm passionate about it, but how can I do it?
Yeah. Walking into fear. I always, one of my favorite sayings is the three C's of life. Don't be afraid to take a choice. Yeah, to bring about change. Chance, choice, change. And I think so many people are afraid, and it holds them back. So,
Well, I would say embrace change because change is needed in life sometimes, isn't it? You are forever progressing, and if you want to sit there and procrastinate and stay where you are, that's where you're going to be.
right.
But if you take your thoughts into a further time forward in your life when you would see, oh, I want to enjoy my life. I want to do the things that I feel passionate about. Perhaps I could even earn a living from what I feel passionate about doing.
Yeah.
See how many people are doing it these days. They are waking up to say to themselves, well, I no longer am happy in this mundane work that I'm in. I'm going to move out of that and do something for myself that I actually enjoy and make other people happy along with it.
Yeah, that's truly amazing. And not to think that um we're human beings, so we're going to have good along with bad, but trying to stay in the positive vibe and in the positive mode, and as you said, not putting off things that are important to us and that we want to do. I think if we have the passion and we have the right intention, I think that we can bring just about anything that we want through.
That is right, yes. You want more of the positive and less of the negative, you see. We understand that you need to go through the negative sometimes in order to get to the positive. But when you actually get to the positive, it feels wonderful, doesn't it? It feels absolutely wonderful. And you think, well, it was worth going through that to get to where I am today. You see,
Yeah.
so you've learned something from it, haven't you? Although you've not wanted to go through it, you've learned something from it to get to where you are now.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Jonathan, I want to give, I know Elaine's probably tired, and I know that you are probably wanting her to kind of wind down a little bit. So, is there anything else that you would like the audience to know before we bring Elaine back?
Well, I would say to you that if you have a gift, embrace that too.
Yeah.
I would say, do not forget that your loved ones are always going to be here for you. We love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
And even though we may have done things that were not always correct in life, you are just human beings, you see. But they love you with all of their heart. And if you want to talk to them in your mind, do not think that it is your imagination answering you and wanting to hear the answers that you want. Sometimes we will come back with an answer you don't always want to hear, but you will know that it is us. We will send you signs and synchronicities that we are there. Do take note of that.
Okay.
Do not
Well,
think it is your own self.
well, Jonathan, thank you so much for speaking with us and helping us to understand uh, it a little better, the whole process.
I thank you, my dear.
Okay. I
We
look
will
forward,
continue to do so, yes.
and I look forward to speaking with you again.
There is one more thing that I would wish to say to you that Elaine does not really know about, but maybe she has a sort of a plan about in her own mind at some point.
We're
But I
listening.
will say, within 5 to 8 years, she will write a book about every experience that she's had, if she can but remember it all in detail. And yes, it will be before she goes off of this earth. She wants to write a book about the experience and leave something behind as a little bit of a legacy for others that want to understand this sort of thing.
Well, we will be looking forward to that because it will be an amazing, amazing book. Yes.
I'm sure that it will be, because I will be standing beside her when she does it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jonathan.
You are most welcome, my dear, and thank you. God bless you all.
Are you back, Elaine?
Yeah, he tells me to go back. I can hear his voice saying, "Go back, go on, go back."
Oh, yeah. Well, he was amazing and brought through such great information, and we really just enjoy. I mean, so I was telling Jonathan, we have people from all over the world on here, and just you are getting just such rave, beautiful comments. So,
Oh,
that's wonderful. And Jonathan was talking to us about a book that you're going to be writing in the next 5 years or so. So we're excited about that.
goodness me. I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, I think he'll help you with that. So I don't think that you have to worry about that. But I want to thank you, Elaine. And I want to just, one more time, I want to say that, oh, and I wanted to show this beautiful plaque that I got. I showed it at
Oh,
the,
yes. My
yes, and I,
partner makes those. Yeah.
yeah. And he does beautiful photography. And isn't he doing like other things other than the plaque?
Yes, he's going to be doing some new things. He does wolf heads.
Yeah,
He does sun and moon plaques, which are quite round with the sun and the moon and stars. And he's
yeah,
thinking about doing some Buddhas, some Buddha heads, so that sort of thing. He's trying to bring new things in as he can, but he spends hours painting them.
yeah,
Sometimes he's up late at night perfecting them. You know, he's very much a perfectionist with that. But yeah, if you want these as memorials and or just to have in your own home, they can go in the garden or indoors. They're suitable for all weathers, so it's quite fine if you wanted it in the garden.
yeah. So, and does he have a Facebook page, or can they see it on your page?
I quite often post it on my page, but I think he's created a page for the photography, but we're trying to get him a page for all the things that he makes as well. So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get something up and running. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I love his stuff. I mean, I just love it. So I just wanted to kind of give him a little plug there because I want everybody to share in and being able
Oh,
to have,
thank you.
oh yeah, be able to have some of his work. And again, if you'd like a reading from Elaine, you can message her via Messenger on Facebook. Like I said, her and Jonathan, as you just saw here today, I mean, wonderful and such great wisdom. And if you'd like a piece of art, go in and look at Elaine's artwork because it's fabulous. And you can commission that. Like I said, I have a piece and I just love it. Every time I look at it, it just brings peace and tranquility to me. So I really, I thank you, Elaine. And I thank you for coming on today and spending some time with us and sharing your amazing gift with the viewers.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks for having me on, and you keep up your good work as well.
I shall. Any last words in parting?
Well, there are some last few words that Jonathan said to you. The best is yet to come for her yet.
Yeah.
He said to me she's going to get very busy, and he said she's like a child in a sweet shop when all that comes around, but you know the best is yet to come, and tell her to be confident in herself and not to be afraid. It's you're not only you're busy with your private readings, there'll be some traveling about and doing these events, so yeah,
Well,
you'll make a lot of people happy.
well, as you do, Elaine, and hoping to get to the UK sometime. So that's on my bucket list. That's my next venture to come out and visit. So that would be nice, and then actually be able to meet you and Frank in person. So looking forward.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. I've met a lot of people on here, and Facebook's, I think, is amazing, you
It is.
know.
It is.
They
Uh,
talk about the one that invented it, but what an amazing person, really, because he brings people together that
yeah,
would have been brought together if this hadn't existed.
you are exactly right. I say the same thing. You know, there's a lot of, well, there's some negative to Facebook, but I think for the most part,
Yeah,
it does look at us. I mean, we're thousands of miles apart, and we can still bring raise that vibration and bring the love and the healing that people so need. So it's just amazing. So I thank you, Elaine, and I will let you. I know it's getting late there, so I will let you go. And I will be, you guys, I will be posting this. So you guys, if you weren't able to tune in live or you would like to rewatch it, I know I like to rewatch the videos because I miss so much. So you always see something or hear something else when you kind of rewatch uh, um, the video. So we'll post that up for you. And Elaine, I'll put it'll be public so you can share it with your folks as well.
okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Elaine. Take care.
Yeah, and you have a good day, what's remaining of it, and
Yeah.
God bless.
God bless you. Bye bye.
Bye.